The Entrepreneur Accelerator Podcast presents marketing, strategy, leadership, and mindset. All that you need to accelerate your business and amplify your success. Now on air with your host, Reem Harfat.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Entrepreneur Accelerator. I'm super happy for this episode today. It's all about motivation. It's all about habits and mindset and success and how to create high performance habits that will help you succeed in life and in business. Because my guest today, oh my God, seriously, I cannot believe this. I'm super happy to introduce my guest to you today. He is New York best-selling author. He is high performance coach. He's the managing partner of High Performance Institute with Brendan Burchard. He is, what can I say? He was awarded as the Entrepreneur of the Year by Ernst Young, a passionate entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. He's the man behind so many brands that you love, and Harvard graduate. He is the co-founder of Prosper. He's a father of 6 and a loving husband and a golf lover. Randy Garn, thank you so much for being here in the Entrepreneur Accelerator. I'm super happy you can see that.
Reem, you are amazing. I love it. Thank you so much for such a kind introduction. And, you know, after everything that I've done, it really comes down to meeting amazing people. I love, honestly, as I go through life, I feel like I just collect friends.
Yes. I'm so happy if you consider me one, because I forgot to mention that, guys, Randy is the man who masters the relationships, or who masters the art of turning relationships into revenue. The author of The Return on Relationships. So I would love to start talking about that, because I truly believe that you are the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. You are who you surround yourself with. And building and focusing on building relationships is so important. But I would like to tell my audience a little bit about your story and how your father helped you start and think this way.
Well, I mean, that's a great question. My, it's interesting. I grew up on a cattle ranch. So my father was a cattle rancher and then a horseman, but he was also a football coach. And so everybody loved my dad. They called him Coach Garn. And my whole life, my father would always tell me, he's like, Randy, you can do and be anything that you want to be. And, I know, and I think in this world, a lot of people don't have that kind of a dad. And not everybody is blessed like that. Some people grow up in really, really, really tough circumstances. And I just happen to be, I don't know where, but I just happened to be born in a place where my parents were so amazing. And my dad and my mom were so loving and so great. And I can't think of a better childhood. And so I want to be that kind of dad. I want to be that kind of person. He would hold us accountable. And I think that's the thing. It was like, love isn't always just about giving your family or your friends or people what they want. Love also is a level of accountability. So we worked our butts off. Like, we worked hard, and it wasn't easy. We didn't have a lot of money. We didn't, but we didn't know it. But we survived, but we had tons of love. And my dad showed us a lot of how to be a good human. So that was part of my upbringing. But a lot of that was also like him teaching me how to treat people and how to treat others.
Because I remember you once said, and I read it also in the book, you said that your dad said that if he lost everything, money or a job or whatever, but if he still had good friends, he will survive. And that's the most important thing. So personal integrity and good friends and relationships is what really matters. And I love that in your book you mentioned that at least you can start by making a list of 25 people that you want to surround yourself with. Can you just tell us a little bit more about this? How can we invest more in relationships? What does it mean?
It actually, and I pivoted with this probably, I don't know, when we would go out to the ranch and everything, we'd listen to Jim Rohn, we'd listen to Zig Ziglar, we'd listen to all of the greats. And one of the things that I remember them saying is, you have a business strategy, you have a business for your life, you have a strategy for who you want to marry. And, but do you have a strategy for around the people that you want to be around? Do you have a strategy for the people that inspire you? Do you have a strategy for getting to know them? I changed that probably when I was in college. I changed that to really understand what it meant to build deep, meaningful relationships. So I made a list of the 25 people that I wanted to get to know. And that things in life don't happen by happenstance. A lot of people that I know are just be like, dude, I'll never know them. I'll never meet them. And
True.
But what if you have a strategy to be able to serve them? And I always say you got to, serve before you sell, or find out how to get to know them. And so I think it's really important that I always have my clients, or, if I'm coaching somebody or working with somebody, like, who are the top 5 people that will move the needle for you, and write them down. And how do you get to know them? But I think you have to have a strategy around the relationships that you form. That is the highest form of capital.
I can relate to that by, there's one sentence that Tony Robbins said, which is, stand on the shoulders of the giants. Maybe it's not the same, but at the same time, using other people experience and, let's say, yes, it's like using their experience and making it like part of a vehicle for you to help you, inspire you, teach you to reach where you want also in life. I really truly believe in that. And without even reading the book, I think I find myself sometimes doing the same, because I feel that working closely with people and serving them in the best way will make you feel good about yourself and feel more content and feel that you are doing really good in this life. So it's not just about you, it's about others and helping others and serving others. And it's really, really important also how to think about like even not limiting yourself to the people who are just surrounding you, and trying to think big and dream big to reach in a higher level in your way of thinking and in life. So you are a managing partner in the High Performance Institute. You're a high performance coach. Why do you believe so much in high performance, and what does it mean? Because I hear so many people talk about that, but they cannot identify if they are high performers or not. So what's the difference? Who are a high performer?
Well, I mean, literally, high performance is like, are you maximizing who you want to become? Because, and I love it, we're all on the same ocean, but we're in different boats, right? We're in different ships. But are you, like, if I'm a canoe, am I the best canoe I can possibly be? If I'm are you maximizing the life that you were created to live? And there's certain ways to be really effective and efficient in life. And so we've actually perfected the 6 habits that are the most important habits. And Brendan spent over $13 million of research, University of Pennsylvania. And I mean, there's a lot of data and science that has went behind this, because we've taken what a lot of people are just like, whether you call it personal development or self-help, I've been in that my whole life from when I was young. But it's like, dude, how do I be the highest performing human I possibly can be myself and bless as many other people as possible? And so I think high performance really is like, do you strive to want to be more? Do you want to do more? Do you want to become more? How do you show up every single day and be fulfilled? High performance is hard, but you know what? So is being low performance is hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I don't know about other people, but for me at least, the minute I feel that I'm not achieving or I'm not accomplishing something, I start to develop this like kind of self, not disrespect, but there's some sort of like, let's say, temporary defeat that I feel at certain points. And I have to immediately rise up and motivate myself to feel that I am alive and I am capable of doing things. And I'm not just a number in this world. I don't want to be just a number. And I love that one of the 6 elements that you have for a high performer is courage.
Oh my
And
gosh.
this is weird. Why do you consider courage as part of a high performer or personality?
And it is. It's actually number 6. Is demonstrate courage is number 6. And there's actually a sequence to it as well. Number 1 is seek clarity. Number 2, generate energy. Number 3, increase productivity. Number 4, raise necessity. But number 6 is once you have a really clear out what you want to do and you have clarity, you have to have courage to do the things that you are set out to do. And courage is not being afraid. Courage is being afraid but going anyways. That's what courage is. It's being scared to death, but you're like, dude, I am going to do this and I'm going to be the best person that I possibly can in my life. And I don't care what anybody else thinks. I don't care what anybody else says. I'm going to be me. And I'm going to do the very best version of me. And if you do that, you will find and surround yourself with amazing, amazing people. And so you do have to be courageous. And sometimes being courageous is getting rid of those people in your life that are pulling you down. Sometimes being courageous is finding a new skill set and learning new skills and new lessons. And, I love my buddy Trent Shelton. He says, you choose your hard. It's hard not to be courageous. But dude, if you are courageous, you can accomplish so many great things. But if you're not courageous, you're not going to go anywhere. You're going to stay the status quo. And for me, that's unacceptable for me in my life. I've kind of made it all my own personal constitution that I am going to have courage every single day.
Wow. And it's like part of your affirmation every day. I know that you love journaling so much.
Yeah.
And which is I'm so bad in. We don't have it in the culture. I wish I can learn it one day. I don't know what does it mean to journal even. And I have to develop that habit even more. I got the high performance planner. I got Dean Graziosi's Better Life Journal. And I'm trying to do that. But I hope that it will work one day. But I know that as you said, one of the 6 elements for high performer is to find clarity. And your book also, Prosper, you talk about the Polaris point.
Polaris
right?
point. Yep.
So seriously, and I'm asking you because I also need that. And I know so many entrepreneurs out there, they need to know that. They need to know what is my Polaris point? How can I find clarity on why am I created? Why am I here in this life? How can I find that? I know you have a story about this.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I think that this is actually the very most important thing that all of us could do. And I love the quote is like, there's 2 reasons why we live. There's 2 reasons that are really critical in our lives is the day we were born and the time and the day we find out why we were born. And it's really, and it's, honestly, it is a journey. But seeking clarity and where your Polaris point is, we really call it your Polaris point is your true north. Like, what's the quickest way to finding out what you were sent here to accomplish and to do? And, you know, I actually am. I do believe in a greater power. I do believe, and I will share some things with you that help me, and maybe it can help some of the listeners today. But I try to create every single day as a new day. And I have a really good strategy for my life. So I've got my strategy on one page. You know, if you don't have your strategy on one page, you don't have a strategy. That's from my buddy Tyler Norton, coined that. And it just stuck with me. I'm like, dude, do I have my personal life strategy on one page?
My
And
personal life. So it's not just business strategy. It's my personal life strategy in one page.
Dude, your business is your life. For me, there's no delineation. There's no like, oh, you know, when I go home, I'm going to be this kind of person. When I'm at business, I'm going to be this kind of person. No, I am creating a business around the life I want to live. And surrounding myself and using my skill sets and using my competencies and using the things that I do best to be able to create that. So you have to, and I think, really put your strategy on one page. But the thing that I do really well and I've gotten better at this as I've aged and gotten wiser and been through different experiences in life, you know, through different relationships and through amazing relationships and some relationship struggles, and people treat you sometimes the way that you never thought they would have. So how do you handle that? How do you manage that? For me to seek clarity and to decrease anxiety and to decrease stress and to improve my energy and to improve my courage is I journal every single night. And I say, what did I do well today? What are the 5 things that I did really, really well today? What are the most important 5 things I need to do tomorrow? And then the other thing that I started adding on is, how did I see the hand of God in my life today? And I started asking myself that question. And I said, dude, I started counting my blessings instead of counting my burdens.
Love it.
So those are the 3 things that I do every night.
It's exactly maybe what most of the people you said at once also, that probable thinkers who earns like the least, they focus more on what they don't have or on the bad things that might happen in their life instead of focusing on the good things that happened in life. So I truly love that. And I think now I have the motivation to start doing it and think about it. I have it in here, but when you write something down, like they say, you will never forget what you write. So I truly love that.
There's also a tremendous power in taking it from mind to hand to pen. You know, and it's just, it's so powerful. And people say like, well, why do I have to write it down? It actually is part of the creative process. And it also will help you seek clarity. And I think about that, man, when I write something down, it becomes powerful. You know, and a good example of this is like, do written things matter? I think about books. I think about my daughter wrote me a little handwritten note the other day that just said, Dad, I really, really love you and I'm grateful for you.
Wow.
You know, she didn't say that to me. She wrote it down, but she does tell me that. But for some reason, when it was on that note, when it was on that paper, it manifested a feeling to me. And I think when we write things down and when we journal, we will manifest that in our lives, and we'll actually that'll start to become a part of us. And then I do, once I create that, I actually get on my hands and my knees and I ask a greater power, dude, is this what I should be doing today? And do I feel good about this? And that has made a massive difference. So just make sure I'm staying to myself and staying true.
Yeah. So Randy, do you think that being a high performer, is it something that we can learn, or is it something that it's just inhibited inside you, something inherited? Can I become a high performer?
Oh, 100%. Yes. I mean, you are. I mean, you've been a CFO, you've ran companies. I mean, you're a mom, you are amazing. Like, I hope that everyone someday gets to know you, Reem. I hope everybody will know your heart and the power and the struggles that you've been through. You've been through probably way more than me. So for me, like, you're a high performer, and I look to your power, and I look to all of the amazing things. I, just read some things, and then we talked before, just living in Jordan and working in the different places you're at, living in Saudi Arabia as a woman, and the power that comes from, I mean, you are courageous. You're asking me how to be courageous. Like, I should be asking you how you have been so courageous in your life. You've seen things, you've been through things that I will never experience. And so, I would just say, man, this is why I love doing this, is because I collect friends as I go through life. And you are an amazing, amazing example for women, for men, for entrepreneurs all over the world with what you're doing.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for all the nice words. Sometimes, sometimes we do things and we don't expect anything in return. We just need to feel that, again, that we're alive and that we're not just a number. We know that life is great, and God put us here to do amazing things, to help each other and to leave a legacy, and not just to be a person that is like idle in this life. I feel that we can do so much more, and together we can create really better humanity, instead of just focusing on the pandemic. And we did not talk about the pandemic. We'll talk about it a little in a while, but instead of focusing on the pandemic and the fear and the wars, and because I've seen it all, to be honest, like being in a country on the border with like the most troubled, let's say, area in the world. And I worked in Iraq, which is like a war zone, and having, being a girl in the Middle East and having to fight the society and all the constraints that I had. But at the same time, I know that there are so many people out there who maybe everyone thinks that his struggle is like the biggest, but we all can just evolve and grow and do better for this humanity, to think about love, to think about serving each other. This is just, this is the highest and the biggest thing that everyone can like think of. And I thank you again for your nice words, and for making me feel at least that I did something good. So
well, I think a lot of times, like you asked me the question, can anybody be a high performer? Can I be a high performer? And resounding as loud as I can and as big as I can, the answer is yes, yes, yes. And we've created a platform for, Brendan is amazing. Do everything that he does. He's just such a good person. He's a good soul. And the thing I love about Brendan is, dude, it is not about him. Like, nothing that he does is about him or for him. He's all in to change as many lives as he can. And that's why I love being his business partner. And Ethan is the same way. And I think that as you look at high performance, we have a high performance. If you go to highperformanceinstitute.com, you can go take a free assessment. And then everybody on your call as well I'll send you a link, and they can get the High Performing Habits book as well for free. And go take that assessment and find out what are the six habits that I need to improve. And we're actually doing quite a bit in the Middle East. I've got quite a bit of calls of people that are like, dude, can you guys come over here? And can we get some of the training over here? So we're actually doing a lot in the corporate training space as well, and helping companies with how do we be more productive? How do we be more high performing? So you can send out to your group just that website, highperforminginstitute.com. And there is a free assessment that you can take to see, what do I need to improve to be more high performing?
Awesome. Love it. I have just 2 questions from one of your biggest fan. And she asked me in specific, she's a self-love coach. Her name is Lionella. And she asked me, please ask Randy these questions. So if you don't mind, I'll ask you those 2 questions. The first one, in quarantine, it's about quarantine burnout. Some of her clients, they're struggling because they are overworking to bounce back and get back the pre-pandemic levels. They are not in their usual working environment. They don't have the usual warning signs to stop themselves. So is there any particular advice?
Yes, there I do. I have particular advice. You, again, this is the importance of journaling and setting boundaries and planning out your day specifically. And I'm actually even saying plan out breaks, plan out a walk. I mean, you high performers, guess what? High performers actually take breaks. You know what's so funny is that it's actually the opposite. Like I needed a break and I took my daughter and we went fly fishing on Saturday and just got away and we left our technology. And to be a high performer, you have to actually make sure that you're managing your burnout levels and you have to have a pace. Life is a marathon, but there are times in your life where it's a sprint. It is a sprint right now. For me, I've never been busier. And I know some of us have. I know that there's people that are working in different work environments at homes. I have six kids. I have 2 sets of twins. And so I try right now, and this is actually some research as well, is that some research that we've done at High Performance Institute is that you should take a break every 50 minutes. It's like every 52 minutes, you should plan a break. Even if it's like a 5-minute break or a 10-minute break, take a breather, reset yourself, make sure that you're on track, and make sure that, because that will help you to not make costly mistakes. Does that make sense? If we're going so hard and you send an email out, like I was going so hard yesterday, I sent the email out to the wrong person. And and then the other guy's like, hey, I never did get your email. I'm like, yes, you did. You got it. And he's like, no, I never did. I'm like, I'm positive I did. And I look in my send file and I sent it to the wrong Derek, right?
Oh, wow.
So I was going so hard yesterday and had so much to do that I wasn't high performing. So high performing does not mean that you're just, killing yourself. It actually means that you're getting the things done that are making a difference, that are moving the needle. You're being productive, not busy. There's a massive difference between getting things that are productive and just being busy and playing business.
Productivity is a very, very important subject because as an entrepreneur, you get overwhelmed easily, first of all, by the struggles that you face in your business day to day, being at home sometimes, because sometimes you will not differentiate between office and home if you're working from home. And at the same time, having the, you need to think as a marketer, as a CEO, as a salesperson, like you do everything by yourself and you get overwhelmed easily. So the burnout is real and it gets you sometimes like, and you feel like you're busy, but you're not really achieving or accomplishing anything, but you're busy all the time. So, and it affects you personally and affects family.
Yeah. I think to answer a question, plan your day out and make sure you're planning the most productive functions that you could do, along with planning out your breaks so that you can think. The other thing that I do to be high productive is, I do keep my blood flowing. I do keep my energy high. I know a lot of times in COVID or whatever, like even I'm standing now when I do podcasts and things, because I think it raises my level of energy. Even if it's just a little bit, it can make a big difference. So if you're feeling yourself getting sluggish, I always say a lot of times we don't have a time management issue. We have an energy issue.
Yes.
And so you've got to be able to manage your energy. And if you're exhausted or burnt out, take a quick break and make sure you're putting that in your plan.
Love it. Second point, and forgive me for taking so long, but Leonella's question is, the coaching landscape will change dramatically due to the pandemic. There will be great opportunities for coaching industry in general. How does high performance or high performer, how can they pivot? And what do they need to add, remove, or focus on in their coaching programs?
That is a great question because it is. I think you have to get really good at being able to communicate in new methodologies. You know, I'm a very, very social person. I mean, I'm a hugger. I'm a handshaker, dude. I love people. And so I like, one of my friends is like, Randy, do you feel like you've been cut off at the knees? Like you can't go out and you can't see people and you can't do things, but you have to be able to use digital technology more effectively in this time than you ever have. And I know you did the KBB program with Dean and Tony, and there's some amazing strategies in that. But I think you need to look at, you know, what mediums are you communicating with people on? How are you reaching your audience? How are they finding you? I think if you're doing the coaching and things like that, I definitely would look into our, you know, the CHPC certification, high performance coaching certification, which is the best in the world. You know, it's an amazing program that teaches you how to do that. In fact, Brendan's doing it right now. He's doing 5 days, and we had hundreds of people that were going to be live, and he's doing it all. I mean, he's going from bell to bell, like literally from 7 a.m. till 8 o'clock at night, doing a whole week-long training on how to be a certified high-performance coach. And so those are some things that you can look into, continue learning, but I think you need to get really, really super good and super effective at communicating with people through new digital means, both marketing, customer acquisition, both training and fulfillment, and then also, content and delivery.
So, Randy, if I'm a coach, let's say I'm a business coach, for example, I teach people how to do business, how to understand business, how to evolve and grow business. But is it good for like to have a high performance coaching certificate? Anyone can take that certificate, like it can be associated with any person, or is it just for those who want to become high performance coaches only? Like
no,
anyone can.
It actually, if you honestly, the program that we have is beneficial for if you are leading people, if you are a manager, if you're a leader, if you're coaching or training, or you have people that report to you, it basically teaches you how to help be a better coach. And I will say this is that the coaching industry is exploding, personal development industry is exploding. But also what is exploding is how to be a good leader and how to be a good manager. And a lot of times in life, like it is all leadership. What we teach is leadership development on how to help other people be better. And to do that, you have to be amazing yourself, you know, and I'm not perfect. I just try to be the best version of me every day.
Yeah.
But how can I help others? That's hugely satisfying to me, is how can I help another person do more and be more? And so I don't think you need to like want to be a coach or be a mentor or, you know, be a business coach to take the certification. If you're a manager, if you're a CEO, if you're a leader, it is the most powerful program on the planet.
I love it. My last question, which is the theme of the show. So I have created this show because me personally, it took me years to figure out how to succeed. Like they say, it took me 7 years to become an overnight millionaire, right? So it took us a lot because we had to succeed, fail, learn, figure out things by ourselves. So this show is to motivate, to teach, and to inspire people and to give them, let's say, the quickest and the fastest strategies and tips to help them accelerate their business success. What is, in your opinion, the number one tip or strategy that my audience can take right away from you to implement that would help them to accelerate their success?
For me, it is, there's a few things, but I'm going to talk about this one. This is one of the habits, is raise necessity. Is you've got to raise necessity. And what I mean by that is that you have to have goals. You know, I always say that if you don't have your own goals, somebody else will use you for theirs.
True.
You have to be, you know, I just talked to I have a coach, I have a fitness coach, I have a business coach, I have a financial coach, but I talked just right before you, I talked with my fitness coach, and we're we're actually going to do a Spartan race together. And as soon as it opens up, and I'm like, okay, let's get this done. You know, last year I did the half Ironman in Kona in Hawaii.
Wow.
And I'm not a runner. Like if you saw me, I'm like built like a cement block. You have to like set goals that will push you and stretch you to be more. And so that's what we call raise necessity. And it's like, you know, if I was in a cage with a lion and that lion's coming at me and I've got a whip and I'm like, get back, you know, and that lion's coming at me, my necessity is high, right?
Yeah.
But guess how I even increase that? And I think like, dude, what if my family was behind me and my kids were behind me and I had to protect them? Is my necessity going to raise up higher? Yes, 100%. So what do you do to take it a whole nother level in your life? That's just be like, if I don't do this today, it will make a difference to who matters. So for me, raising necessity is I always think in my life, who do I have to be a hero for? Who do I have to have courage for? And who do I have to raise up my necessity for much greater than just myself? So think about who you need to be a hero when you're setting your goals to raise necessity. Push yourself. Stretch yourself. That's how you grow. That's how you get better. So that's my tip.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much. To wrap up this episode, if there is just, if you can leave us with one word to our listeners, and where can they find you to know more about Randy, about the return on relationships and high performance? Where can people find you?
Yeah, they can just go to you can go to randygarn.com and find it there. And you can also find more out on highperformanceinstitute.com and what we're doing. So, you know, so be happy you can find me there and reach out there and you can get the ebook that we have on return on relationships and you can go take that assessment as well at High Performance Institute. So my last tip is don't be grumpy. Like, no, I mean, there is some hard stuff and I know that things are crazy, but there is such joy in every day. And I think that trying to find that joy and trying to find that happiness today, think of all of the things that in your life that are amazing and try not to think about, you know, and I always say, you know, count your blessings, not your burdens. So do everything that they can to not be grumpy, to be happy. People do not want to be around people that are in bad moods and are grumpy. And I don't watch the news. I check the news. I don't sit there and watch it because I just try to keep myself in a place where I'm going to create my life and I'm going to have joy in my heart and I'm going to have joy in my head. I'm going to be a better husband. I'm going to be a better father, and I'm going to be a better businessman if I'm happy. So try not to be grumpy and try to find those things that bring you the most joy in your life.
Love it. Randy Garn, thank you so much for being here one more time in the Entrepreneur Accelerator. It was a pleasure. I appreciate you. Thank you.
And Reem, you are amazing. Keep going. Keep sharing your beautiful message. And I'm thankful for you today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you.